So you were a news anchor when you were living in Alaska, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did you do that for?
Just a year. We were only there for a year. I got there and like basically within a month I was working.
Oh wow.
So that was great. You know, I kind of went over thinking, oh, I was going to do the housewife thing for a while and just be, you know, a lady who lunches.
Yes.
And then the job came up and it was fantastic.
Was it that your husband had to work there that you guys moved initially? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I was very lucky that I was able to work because America is so tough in terms of visas and things like that.
Yes.
So that was good that I got that. And then my job was just wonderful.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
it was very stressful. It was the most stressful and tired I've ever been in my life. Like, it's literally non-stop. But I think that for someone who'd never been to the country, for someone who never experienced that kind of culture, it was the best thing to do because I was traveling all over the state, you know, covering all these amazing stories.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I guess the thing always about living in a foreign place is that it's always that balance between the adventurous spirit side of you and then balancing where home actually is and where your family are. And because it's fun as an adventure, but then you also do have like another life that you've kind of stepped out of, you know. So I guess it's that balance.
But as well, like more on a personal note, like it was tough to kind of balance everything because there's so much to do, and I'm a person who like needs her rest at the end of the day. Like I think I've discussed with you, like I need 8 hours. Like 8 hours of sleep needs to be happening in my life. And so when I was hosting the breakfast show, I never got 8 hours.
Wow.
Like I tried to constantly get 6 hours, but it was just impossible.
Wow.
So it was really tough, and so like that made me, I think, on the whole, a little bit grumpier. But you know,
so you said you were grumpy in a nice way.
No, in a bad way.
Oh no, in a bad way. Okay.
But if we say it with a smile, then it's a little worse, not as bad.
Exactly.
So so we, you know, I would get home and Elle would want to go out for a beer, or want to go do this, or want to go do that, and I'd just be like, I don't want to do anything, like I'm so tired. Which is why I say, I think, you know, and you have to know what you are capable of and what you're not capable of, and what you were made for and what you potentially weren't made for. I was not made for news. Like, it's just, I mean, it's fun and I loved it, and I think I was okay at it, I think I was good at it, but it's just, it has to be your life.
Absolutely.
Because if it's not your life, then you're not going to do it.
And that journalism passion and all of that needs to come through because you want to cover things. But do you not find that with acting you've got irregular hours as well?
I do, but like, maybe because it's what I want to do, it's not as bad.
Yes, this is where your passion lies.
But is the difference that, like, for example, if there's a breaking news story somewhere, you've got to literally drop everything and go? Whereas with your shooting schedule, you've got a schedule.
Exactly, or at least I'll know like the day before that I've got to go somewhere. In which case, like, I still have to drop everything and go, and like, you know, I'll have people calling me like the day before, and they're like, "Oh, we have a great character for you." I'm like, "Oh, great, when's the shooting? Tomorrow." It's like, I'll just shuffle some things around then, you know.
It's always coming to an end soon.
It's finished.
It's finished.
We finished last week, and it was a very, very cool project.
Did we find out who the culprit was?
No, we've known the whole time. That's been the thing.
I
so
see.
we've known the whole time, and we've.
But your character didn't know.
No, my character didn't know.
Okay.
And like in the end, she still like she doesn't really. There isn't a scene where it's like this is what happened. But it's all, you know, in the goal of bringing down the baddies. And unfortunately, in the end, that doesn't really happen. To an extent.
It's not one of those Agatha Christie reveals where please all sit in the dining room at 2 o'clock
Exactly.
be revealed.
So I mean, I don't know, and I don't know. Everyone's been asking me, is there going to be a second season? I don't know yet.
Okay.
But
well, fingers crossed. Exactly.
because even how, like, I wasn't sent that by my agent.
Okay.
I shot a commercial and made a friend on set who was with some other agency, and he told me about this random audition that was happening. I went there were so many people in line, I was so ill. I'd just come off like 2 months of a play, I'd shot like the weekend before, like I was so drained and I was so ill. And I was like, I'm not standing in this line. So I went and I had one of my Z cards, and so I just dropped in and I said, look guys, I'm very ill, I can't stand in this line. Here's my information, and if you're interested, please give me a call. And it was quite a diva thing to do, I must be honest.
So were those people in the line to actually audition for the role? Is that why they were there?
Yes, they were auditioning for like many
roles.
So they were doing more of like an open audition.
Okay, I see. So it was like an open casting kind of open audition kind of.
Yes. And so, and I mean, like literally, I was like dying. And so I was just like, guys, I'm sorry. Like I'm so sick. My audition will be terrible. And it's funny how things happen because the production coordinator was a girl that had contacted me on LinkedIn for like she wanted to do some business with me like a couple of months ago. So she immediately recognized me and I was like, oh my goodness, hello.
Yes.
And so, by her recognizing me, they called me like 2 days later.
Wow.
And they wanted me to go in for the audition and I got the job an hour later.
That's amazing.
That's wonderful.
That's amazing. It is amazing how things happen.
And it absolutely
really is.
Because had I not made friends with that guy on set, and it was only because it was like a group scene that we were in, and so there was a lot of just standing around in the group, and so we would just kind of chat between sets, and he was like, oh, I've got an audition on this, and I was like, oh, please send me that, because we all actors like, send that to me.
Exactly, you need to network.
Exactly. So, and I mean, that has arguably been the most important thing that I've done thus far in my career.
And like you're saying, it's so important to have that resilience. I think, as an actress, I think if you're not resilient, then that opportunity is not going to come because you're going to give up before it actually comes.
And and that's another thing is that you go to these castings and sometimes you sit there and like the people come, they haven't read the brief, they're not dressed correctly, they might not even be the right race. I mean, like I got to an audition kind of at the end of one slot, ready for the next slot. I was early, and there was a white guy there for a role that specifically said like we're looking for a black actor, and like and the guy was sitting there, and like I heard the casting director like talking to her assistant, being like, why would they send him? Why would they send him? And then not only does your agent look like an idiot, but you look like an idiot. And you were just told to go there,
Absolutely.
It's a very
it's crazy,
it's a very tricky little
Wow.
Do you remember that funny story we heard? I can't remember what interview it was with Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Where she said early in her career, you just go for every audition.
Yes.
And she said she went for the lead role in King Kong.
Oh wow.
She had to do the Fay Ray role in King Kong. She said, but one goes.
Yes.
And she walked in and, what was his name? De Laurentiis.
Yes, the Italian guy. Yes.
Said in Italian, why are they sending me this ugly girl? And she could understand Italian.
Yeah, she speaks like 3 languages or something like that.
And in Italian she replied back to say, I don't actually know.
That's, Meryl.